Hello everybody, I'm doing my review of Choose Death, Best of Necro Butcher, Volume 1. I wanted to do both volumes at once, but I thought, I don't really have the time to do them all. I will put the match listing this time up in the thing. I didn't do it with the TNA thing because I thought, I can't give some of those matches ratings, and I couldn't be bothered typing all the shit out. Or even copying and pasting and then putting the star ratings in. But Necro Butcher, a guy I think who really went from... who a lot of people have really underrated over the years. And the reason why I say that is because for a long time everyone hated him, like all the smart fans, or people who enjoyed ROH and Puro and stuff, and not the deathmatch smart fans, hated him because he was a deathmatch guy. But and Trusley actually said in a video, I think it might still be up, but he was very right on this when he said he thought Necro Butcher should be in ROH because he was that different, and he'd been in ROH in the CZW feud and he was awesome in it. If you see the CZW ROH feud and see the matches he had in ROH, I mean, he really did stand out, and that was what was so good about him. And then there was I think ROH styles did, and no offense to him or anything, because he didn't necessarily bag Necro, but when he was at the Hammerstein show, he said, I was really surprised by how over Necro was. And I guess it's because I think because Necro is so different, it is easy for him to get over in an environment full of wrestlers who all seem the same. He's not the best worker, we know that, but he does have, a lot of the time he might not have the best match on a card, but he'll have the most entertaining, or he'll just have the most entertaining spots. And I mean, he's just a guy, he's like Hogan, I think, in terms of he's not a good worker. He's not a good worker, but he is a draw because he is, he represents something to a certain fan base, and he got over with the deathmatch fans because he really did represent what deathmatch wrestling was about, because he was having the most brutal death matches. And the first thing I'll say about this DVD is the interview part is really good. It gives you a real good insight into his perspective from the business and the deathmatch side of things, and how it's a bit less professional. He puts a lot of people over. I must say, he doesn't really bury anyone or bag anyone out. He never intends to, and he even says that he doesn't like putting people down, and if he ever does, he really does explain it from his perspective. Like, he was talking about how in Big Japan, the Big Japan guys didn't really let guys from the US do much in Big Japan, but he explained because it was part of the falling out that Big Japan and CZW had, and he understood it, and he explained it. I think, and you really do get to know the person Necro. But I mean, Necro is so good at playing his character. He makes you mark out. When I first started watching a lot of his matches, he really made me kind of mark out, because he did really make me believe he was this crazy motherfucker, because he would do this crazy fucking shit and get messed up real bad and keep going. And like one of the first matches one of the matches I discovered him in was him versus Samoa Joe. Now, I was aware of Samoa Joe's work, not massively, but I knew of Samoa Joe through friends, internet, and I'd seen a few of his matches, not anything spectacular or any of his long ass ROH epics or anything like that. But and I watched the match with Necro. I'm like, fucking hell, and I was freaking out the way they were hitting each other. And I mean, I kind of hated Necro to begin with, because I saw him as this crazy guy who shouldn't be wrestling. But now he's like one of my favorite wrestlers, because he every time he was in the ring since then, or I'd seen him, his matches were always something I care about. And then I guess one of the reasons why I loved him now is because he's coming to ROH, and he's just so different, and he really, and even from his shoot, I liked him more, even though he obviously makes lifestyle choices I don't agree with. But I don't really hold that against people. But you do really see him as a person. I'm not going to talk too much about the matches. I've been talking a while, but there's a really good bit in the interview where and it really does show you some of the human side to him, where he's asked how did he get into wrestling, and his parents were separated, and he would stay with his father on weekends, and wrestling was at the time was only on weekends, and so and then his father died, and he got really into wrestling because it was a way to feel close to his father, and I found that pretty, touching. It really did show a human side to him. And there were other things as well, like when he talked about his current wife or girlfriend or whatever, how their relationship started, and how just things about that. And I thought, wow, I really understand where he's coming from about that, and it really does humanize him. But I don't think. And then then when you watch the matches, you really get back into a place where you were kind of left before you really figured out Dylan Summers, where you started believing again that he was a crazy motherfucker. I mean, in the interviews, he still does sound pretty crazy. Like, he's talking about matches, and he said him and Toby Klein would just get drunk and go out there and just fucking beat the Christ out of people, or their opponents, to sort of. And his match with Joe, he tried not to fall over or anything, because if he looked weak against Samoa Joe, then he would give deathmatch guys a kind of bad reputation. So he really was representing them. So he really wanted to go toe to toe with Joe, even though it's a work match, obviously. But he wanted to look strong against him, so he did no sell, and he did work stiff, and Joe did as well, and he knew he would. Well, I'll just get onto the matches now. It goes through from basically Corporal Robinson, him versus Corporal Robinson in a Lumberjack light tube match from IWA Mid-South in 2001, through to him versus Samoa Joe in IWA Mid-South in 2005. And between it, you've got matches from IWA East Coast. His match against Madman Pondo, that match was really good. I'd never seen anything from East Coast, and the ring was broken, which is what makes it so much more surprising that it was a really good match. His match against Mr. Insanity, Toby Klein, from 2004 with, I think it was King of the Death match. That was a fucking crazy match. You have a match from Ultraviolet Underground. His two Chikara matches are very good, which are both tag matches with Madman Pondo. Some of the matches I don't really feel the look, but they have to put something on, I guess. What else here? Oh, it's got his really, really, really fucking good match against Green Phantom from Tournament of Death 3, which I reviewed, where he was just so fucking insane. It was just awesome. I mean, while it doesn't have the best lineup of matches, because some of the matches with him, what got him over wasn't always the match quality. As I said, it was entertainment value, and it was seeing the fucking sick shit that would happen to him. So you really have to. It would be a hard job choosing the matches, because it's like, what do you do? Do you pick his best matches, or do you pick the matches where he got the most fucked up? And that's why he's got a 2-disc set, because you really have to put in both. Like one of his matches against Madman Pondo from IWA Mid-South in 2002 or 3, yeah, 2002, where he got that massive fucking hot chunk of his arm taken out. That was just sickening, and the whole match he was nearly completely fucked, because about 3 minutes in he was just barely doing anything. He was just sitting there and laying around. Got put in a bin by Pondo, and Pondo just tried to buy some time, and eventually they did a big spot at the end, and that really fucked him up. And there was a pool of blood in the bin, and oh god, it was disgusting. But I'm a sick motherfucker, so I kind of enjoy it. Oh, look, I got a tip. Anyway, for this, I'd probably give this an 8.75 out of 10. If you are a deathmatch fan and you do have a lot of deathmatch DVDs, you'll probably enjoy this if at least half the matches you don't already have. If you aren't, I think it would be a good place to start, because Necro is really good at what he does, so it's good to get a foot in the door with seeing the best kind of stuff, or at least modern deathmatch wrestling. So yeah, 8.75 for this volume. I'm going to do volume 2 and give that a separate rating. I wanted to do them at once, but I'm going to be doing things in between. And another thing which I might edit into this video at some point is that I've done another video. I don't know if I've uploaded it yet or not, because I might be uploading this before it. It's where I'm drunk and I'm in a quilt and acting like a fucking nutcase talking about gimmicks. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.